Mark.
Hey travelers, welcome back to Roberto's Room. So I thought, since it is Christmas, that we would talk about what, for me, is arguably the best telling of the Nativity story and Jesus' birth. And that is, of course, the movie that is aptly titled The Nativity Story. Before we get into the review, though, if you would, please drop a like down below. Drop a comment. I'd love to chat with you more there. And if you would also, please subscribe. If you subscribe, of course, hit the notification bell to be notified every time that we drop a video on this channel. All right, let's get back into it.
Smile, everyone! We're back.
Now, this movie is, like I said, it is very accurate. Now, again, there are some liberties. Of course, they do the three wise men, and of course, we don't know how many wise men there were. The Bible never says. However, I think that this movie presents the actual story in a really interesting way. Has a really interesting cast that when I was rewatching it this year, I thought, this cast is actually pretty stacked. You get Duke Leto Atreides himself, Oscar Isaac, who stars as Joseph, Keisha Castle-Hughes stars as Mary, who does a phenomenal job, and the two of them really carry the story, and you can really tell that they are struggling with this burden, and yet, in spite of that, they are doing so by faith. And I love, especially Oscar Isaac, who this was before his Dune and his Moon Knight days, and this reminds me of actually more of his Robin Hood 2010 days. I love seeing him in this movie, and he really gives nuance to the character of Joseph, and you really get the sense of his burden, but also his excitement and his sense of, like, this is such an amazing position, and this is such an amazing opportunity. And I love this line in the movie that's not in the Bible, but he asks Mary, he says, talking about Jesus, who's about to be born,
I wonder if I will even be able to teach him anything.
And I love that you're seeing what he probably would have been thinking. Again, of course, you're going to take some creative liberties because not everything is spelled out, but the liberties that it takes, for the most part, I think, flesh out the Bible story. Kieran Hines stars as Herod in this, who is just, I love his Herod. Honestly, for me, the Nativity story is what I would consider in my head canon the prequel to Passion of the Christ, because everything kind of matches up really well if you watch that and then you watch Passion of the Christ. Just how everybody looks and the look of the film itself matches a lot with how they did Passion of the Christ. So I always like to consider Nativity Story as the official lead-in in my head canon to Passion of the Christ. As well, the son of Herod, Herod Antipas, this actor, he's every time he's on screen, though, I have to say, he looks like he wants to kill somebody. Probably Herod, but he just has murder on his face. Like, there is no way that when the wise men come to see Herod, that they don't look at this guy and think, yeah, this guy's a little off. But I love the cast, and I think everybody does a really good job. The character of Elizabeth, who is the mother of John the Baptist, and she's played by Shori Agdashlu, who is amazing. I love hearing her voice. I could just have how people love the ASMR stuff. Like, her voice is just really soothing to me, and I love that it actually starts with her story and with her husband and with the announcement of the birth of John first. I love that. I love that it starts there, and actually it starts really with a flash forward to the massacre of the innocents, where Herod came into Bethlehem to look for Jesus and kill all of the children that were 2 and below. And then we kind of flash back and start the story from Elizabeth's point of view, and then building to Mary and so on. And like I said, one of the things that I love about this movie as well is the use of the traditional Christmas songs in the score itself. So it's really cool. You get parts of O Come Emmanuel and other songs as well that are used in the actual score of the film. So it really gives you that feeling. And as I was watching it a few days ago in preparation for this review, I found myself getting, like, emotional and really just immersing myself in the story, and that's what this movie does. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend that you watch it, especially this Christmas season, because like I said, it is to me one of the most incredible and most accurate retellings of the Nativity story. And like I said, I would definitely give it a watch. I love it. It, for our family, has become kind of a mainstay of the Christmas season, and I hope maybe that it will become yours as well. Have you seen Nativity Story? I would love to hear what you think about this movie in the comments down below. Like I said, I love this film, and I love how it just does everything. The pacing of the movie as well is really, really nice, and I really like that it just keeps going, and yet it still allows room for the emotion to breathe. Catherine Hardwicke, who directed this, did a really good job in that, in the pacing, and as well the editing, I think, is done really, really well. As well, also, if you would, please drop a like down below, and if you haven't subscribed, if you're joining our channel, this is the first video that you've seen of this channel, please subscribe. We'd love to have you on board. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and as always, go with grace.